Welcome. I'm the motherfucking Batman, David John Lincoln, aka the Savage Bat. Welcome back to the Restore the Snyderverse Live crossover stream every Sunday. And welcome the panel, Taladia Plays, Batman's Thoughts, Nightmare Robin, Superbo Corey, my man Zodwright, the Kryptonian, and Byron Lafetti. All in the place. And I think we've got a couple more guests showing up. If you know this channel, then you'll know one of them already. but yeah. So what's been happening, guys?
Not much. Just a lot of DC news, isn't it?
Yeah. What hasn't been happening this week?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been eating good.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, in fact, what I'll do is I'll quickly play that clip before we start to set the tone.
You've said some very nice things about, of course, Zack Snyder, who's meant so much to your career. He obviously remains an ardent fan of yours.
Yep.
Little surprise for you, Henry. I reached out to Zack, and he sent something in.
Uh-oh.
Let's look at a message from Zack Snyder for Henry Cavill.
Yeah. Wow.
Henry, I have a question. When we first did Man of Steel, and we were doing the flying shots for the first time, and we put you in the belly pan or on the wires, I can't remember which we did first. Did it feel odd to be, just there in front of the green screen, doing your flying, shots, with us just touching the camera, and you having to act like you're flying, but before you had ever seen what it might look like or what it might feel like? How was that? Was that odd, and did you expect it to turn out the way it did? So that's my question. I can't wait to work with you in the future, and you are, of course, the greatest Superman ever.
He's a lovely man. He's a lovely man, and I'm enormously appreciative of everything he's done for me, especially by casting me in Man of Steel. Those are formative memories of mine, career-wise. It was when everything changed, and I remember them fondly. Yeah. I remember fondly hanging above fields it was Illinois, and just outside of Plano. Amazing memories and a lot to be thankful for. So, Zach, if you're watching on one of these many cameras, thank you. Thank you, my friend.
Yorkville!
Yep, where I met you.
Yep.
Well, that doesn't mean that Zach is going to work with Henry on a Superman movie.
No,
it
of course it
they're
doesn't.
going to work together again, right?
He only specifically said, I can't wait to work with you again.
He's going to do Rebel
and then he qualifies it by saying that you're the greatest Superman ever. But that doesn't mean anything, right?
No, that
Henry Cavill is negotiating with Warner Brothers. That's what Zack Snyder's doing.
Yeah. Hey, Trey's in the place.
Hey!
You made it, Trey!
Trey with the bad internet. There he is. He's here.
Yeah.
No bad internet for Savage. How's it going, fellas?
How's it going?
How's it going?
Just show
the Snyderverse is getting restored.
Yeah.
What? What are you talking about? No,
Yeah.
I'm lost, Trey.
I'm at a huge loss too. I mean, Henry Cavill just left The Witcher for no reason. I mean,
no
he's a movie star,
whatsoever.
I mean, it makes sense.
He's retiring, probably.
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, people have been actually saying that Zach and Henry are enemies today in some of the comments.
Right.
The whole video
in my group
from
and
Josh
thingy.
Harway.
Yeah, they've been trying to allude to that.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. Like,
Zach betrayed Zach, and Henry's a traitor too.
Yeah. What are you people talking about? Obviously not paying attention.
Who are you?
Yeah.
One of the things,
Snyderverse fan.
Yeah.
one of the things I noticed too, kind of watching this again and watching it the few times that I have, one, it was a complete softball question from Zack Snyder as well to Henry Cavill. And it was really just and Henry Cavill never answered it too. So it made me every time I watch it, Zack Snyder has those subliminal messages. And watching it again, I'm thinking to myself, he's like, oh, was it kind of difficult? It was a weird path, that you kind of had, it was some struggle, some weird things going on during the making of this of Man of Steel. We've had a weird path to restore the Snyderverse. And then when he comes at the end and he says, I can't work with you again, and he kind of does that flash of the two, man, it just screams to me that that was just all subliminal messages that
Zach never says anything by accident. Do you know what I mean? He's actually known for it. He's known for it.
That was the greatest throwaway question ever. I agree with you, Corey, because it really had nothing. It really didn't mean anything. That question actually felt like something that Zach just pulled out of his butt just to say something, so that he could get to the point where he said he can't wait to work with him again, and then the whole greatest Superman ever. It was perfect.
And if you watch Henry Cavill's just response, he kind of like smirks, and when he hears that the biggest line in there, I can't wait to work with you again. He kind of like holds himself back a little bit. He kind of goes reserved and is like, he's a lovely man, isn't he? That's he completely
right. Because he can't make the announcement that we're working together for the next Superman movie. Not yet, so we have to be reserved. But you could tell Henry Cavill just wanted to bust. He was so excited.
Exactly.
He couldn't say anything. He specifically said he couldn't say anything, and you can't. That's certainly not a thing if you haven't signed a contract.
Well, and that's the thing too, is that for him to explicitly say like I can't say anything, that means that there's something to say.
Yeah,
it's like,
well, look his reaction here to someone shouting "Restore the Snyderverse."
Damn, that was Batman.
Let's just look at do it,
shout out to that guy.
Restore the Snyderverse.
It is definitely
close.
Batman.
But
But just Henry Cavill's embarrassed sort of laugh. He's like, well, yeah, it's getting restored. I just can't say anything. Yeah, definitely.
But he doesn't want the Snyderverse. He's against Zack's vision.
No, yeah.
He's against it, right? He wants Superman to be all hope and optimism, right? No Snyderverse.
And see, that thing always irritated me so much with like all those people who are pulling that out, because it's like, just because, Henry wants to move into the hopeful comic, Superman that we all know and love, doesn't mean he was opposed to the origin story to get him there. It just meant that he wanted to play the entire scope of Superman's story,
Yeah,
he required the whole story arc.
I mean, I've got sick of explaining it to people, but it was Zach's intention to do that anyway. It's just that we're getting it in a different order, And originally, this hopeful Superman movie was supposed to be part 2 to Man of Steel. It was actually Warner Brothers that pushed Zach to use Batman early. And said, we need to up our game to fight against Marvel. We're going to need a big name like Batman. It was actually Warner Brothers. Batman was... Zack Snyder was going to do Batman, but there was going to be a Man of Steel in between. So, we're getting exactly what we want.
Right. Again, it's all Warner Brothers that screwed the pooch. It was Warner Brothers that wanted to rush things, and then... on top of wanting to rush things, then they wanted to meddle and manipulate Zack's movie. So it's like no matter what you do with that regime, you were screwed regardless. It's like
and it's actually quite incredible when you look at Batman v Superman that like this wasn't the story Zack originally wanted to tell. He was forced into doing all this stuff, and it still turned out incredible and amazing.
It's my favorite. It's my favorite Zack Snyder movie.
It's funny because
mine too.
It's funny. Yeah, it's funny because we know that Batman v Superman wasn't the first thing he wanted to do, because we know that Zack Snyder himself wants to at some point do a Dark Knight Returns movie. So if he wanted to do Dark Knight Returns, why would he want to do Batman v Superman when so many of those elements would be used later on down the road if he gets a chance to do Dark Knight Returns?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I reckon they also forced him to do Doomsday as well.
Yep.
Yeah, well, it was supposed to be Metallo, wasn't it, originally?
Yeah.
But that wouldn't really work, though, because Wonder Woman is stronger than Metallo. So she, like DC Universe Online, we were talking about this in the Twitter space yesterday.
Yeah, but Superman would not have died, though. That's the thing. If he would have fought Metallo, he wouldn't have died. Metallo would have just been the villain, would have just been a main villain at the end. It wouldn't have been like it would have killed Superman or anything. Like if you get the book, The Art of Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, the art book, you can see all they have all the artwork and the pre-rendered shots of Metallo. They were literally going to use Metallo in that film. Yeah, it's amazing.
I love
it.
those.
Actually kind of seems like it would have fit really well with Lex Luthor too, because he would have obviously made Metallo and would have been the villain.
Yeah, Metallo would have been the guy in the wheelchair.
Yeah, it would have. Yeah, that's exactly who it would have been. Yeah,
that was the plan.
Although his name probably would have been John Corbin if they went the Metallo route.
Yes. If it was Metallo, it would have been John Corbin. Exactly. Yes.
But I'm happy, and it just proves you how much you can trust in Zack. Because even after he was compromised, he made the masterpiece that we know as Batman vs Superman,
Ultimate Edition.
Ultimate Edition.
Even the theatrical cut was not a bad film at all.
No, but Ultimate Edition dwarfs it 100%.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, here's what I kind of look at: like the theatrical version. Would you guys still, even with the theatrical version, I think it's a better film than even Black Adam.
Yeah,
fair, I would agree with that. But
But
that's a testament to Zack to show that even a movie that was butchered as much as BVS was, it's still a better movie than anything that DC has released since they messed with him and got rid of him. So it just goes to show you they need Zack Snyder for the DCU.
Yeah,
definitely.
And fingers crossed. I think James Gunn knows this as well. We'll get to the James Gunn bit a bit later. But yeah, it's just saying in before the episode started, the DC news is on tap at the moment. We've got Black Adam, Superman's return, Zack Snyder saying this thing, James Gunn and
Peter Safran.
Peter
Starts
Safran.
on November 1st.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
So
no, tomorrow's Halloween.
Yeah.
Oh wait, you're in UK, duh.
Yeah, we're in the future.
I mean, when was the last time that we can remember that DC actually dwarfed a Marvel announcement on social media?
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time that happened, and no one was talking about Ant-Man 3.
That
day.
I forgot. I saw
Ant-Man 3 got the tumbleweed treatment.
Marvel can take those once in a while. DC's been suffering for years. It's nice to see Marvel suffering that for once.
Yeah, and it's I'm not having a diss at Marvel. It's all right, but I've been hearing bad things about the Wakanda Forever trailer as well.
The new one.
Well,
CGI problems again, and crappy stuff.
I also gotta say the whole Wakanda Forever thing. I don't know if you've been paying attention to the American news lately, but the BLM community is really trying to take it over and say certain people can't go see that movie, and it's just don't you want that movie to be successful? Don't you want it to destroy opening weekend?
That's right.
It's kind of weird. What's up, Socks?
Yeah, greatest Superman ever. That's right. According to David Yates is directing Man of Steel.
That's actually a narrative right now. They don't want.
Have you not heard about that, Corey?
I've heard about it, but
BLM
that's not even
that white people can't see the movie.
That's a narrative. So what I'm gonna do is the day that Black Panther opens, I'm gonna go see Black Adam again.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, I don't know. To me, that's just Wakanda Forever. As a DC fan, the first time I saw the trailer for Wakanda Forever, I was even ooh, man, this looks good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a good first trailer.
Yeah. Namor looks awesome. I was super hyped about that.
How is Chadwick going to be in it?
He's not.
He's not.
I saw that he's he's credited to be in this film.
Well,
I'm sure
archive footage, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to transition him out. He dies somehow. They're going to explain that,
Well, one thing I thought they could always do is that if they could have him die in battle, because he wears that Black Panther suit that covers his face, you could easily use archive lines from Chadwick Boseman. And
I think that's the thing that makes me the most curious about Wakanda Forever is how they're going to kill him off.
It's going to benefit the same way that The Dark Knight did with Heath Ledger. You know, everyone wants to kind of.
They
go
never.
see how
That's
they
the
handle it.
problem I have, and this may be controversial, but the problem I have is that they never should have killed off T'Challa. It's way too early in the character's existence in the MCU.
Mhm.
What they should have done is they should have recast him. There's
Mhm.
plenty of actors out there who could have picked up the mantle, because here's the thing. When an actor dies, the last thing the actor wants is for the legacy of the character that he's playing or she's playing to end with that actor. So the best thing you could do to honor Chadwick Boseman is get an actor who is competent and can play the role in a convincing and positive way. And there you go. I don't understand. I don't understand that. I don't understand why just because the actor dies, we have to essentially retire the character and make the whole movie this memorial to said actor, when in reality, all you got to do is recast the character and allow T'Challa to continue. He didn't have enough material. It wasn't like Chadwick Boseman, is the only guy who could ever play that role. I mean, I get it. He was good. He was great, but it's not that serious. It's not like it's not like you're talking about saying, well, because if that was the case, think about this. Just follow me with this, guys. If, for example, when Christopher Reeve got into that bad horse accident, right, and he broke his back, and he was never going to be able to play Superman again, that would be like the studio coming out and saying, we're retiring the character of Superman. No other actor is ever going to be able to play Superman again because Christopher Reeve was the GOAT. He was the best actor to ever play the role. He's so beloved. We can never use Superman again. It would make more sense with Christopher Reeve than it would make with Chadwick Boseman and T'Challa. I mean, come on, man. There was one movie. I mean, this really, ultimately, the more I think about it, the more it pisses me off, because this was one film. It's not like T'Challa is, a character that, we've seen this character for eons. And Chadwick Boseman has been playing. I just don't understand the whole idea that, well, we can't recast him. It's disrespectful. Even Chadwick Boseman's own family said that they thought that he should have been recast. So what the hell? I don't get it.
I don't get Thunderbolt Ross.
I don't get it. And not only that, they recast actors in the MCU like toilet paper anyway. I mean, they got rid of Terrence Howard. They replaced him with Don Cheadle, and nobody complained. Nobody batted an eye. Yeah. If the actor is good in the role, if the actor can play the part, you're not going to have a problem. It's no big deal.
And there's not anything that says they couldn't eventually recast him for because now they're introducing the multiverse to have someone else from another universe take on that role.
I think that would have been an easy explanation too. Have a completely different one. Oh, it's a different multiverse. They didn't even have to. Deal with that.
Now this is the thing. Now if they say, okay, Shuri is going to be the new Black Panther, because that's how it is in the comics. And I get that eventually you would get to that point where Shuri would take over the mantle, but not now, not after one film. I mean, what the hell are you doing? It's like, honestly, I'm going to say this here, and this is going to be controversial too, but I think that the Black Panther movie, as good as it was, is a bit on the overrated side. I'm being honest.
Yeah,
it was good. It was good. It was good, but it's overrated. It
was very important historically for black people and all that. But,
but I mean,
as a movie itself, I'm a fan of superheroes. The being the same as the villain, right? That was just silly. And then the PlayStation 2 graphics fights at the end. That is some of the worst CGI I've ever seen in a movie. But because of the importance of the black culture thing and all that, that was just completely ignored. But if you actually go back and watch it, it's actually not a great film.
I mean, if you actually think about it, if you actually want to talk about cultural significance, if Black Adam would have got made when it was supposed to be made, Black Adam would be bigger than Black Panther. It's because or Cyborg. That's
Cyborg, or even hell, John Stewart, Green Lantern.
Exactly. But the only reason is because when you think about it, honestly, the Black Lightning TV show is better than the Black Panther movie. The Black Panther movie is a good movie. It's entertaining, but it's not. I don't think it deserves the level of reverence that it gets. People bow down to the movie like it's the greatest thing in the world, and then to top it off, they don't care that T'Challa still has more stories to tell. They're like, oh no, we can't do that. We have to honor Chadwick Boseman by retiring the character forever. I mean, whatever.
But you know what's even better than Black Panther's Wakanda Forever? Batwoman season 2. Even that is better.
I didn't even watch.
I stopped after season 5. Episode 5.
But I do a play on words from Kanye West because he's been again in the news being silly.
Yeah.
I've got news for you. Disney doesn't care about black people. They care about money in your wallet. You know what I mean? Come on.
This is why Disney is going to allow the Chinese to basically change the race of Ariel for Little Mermaid, going back to Little Mermaid. The reason why they're going to allow China to change Ariel back into a white chick is because they know that they'll be able to make the money. It's like you said, they don't care about, it's not about representation. It's about how much money you can make and you can exploit
target
representation.
Audience, to exploit
You're exploiting representation. You're not promoting representation. You're exploiting it because you're basically saying, okay, this is a movie that is going to transcend cultural boundaries. And like you said, now you have groups out there talking about, well, white people can't go see Wakanda Forever. Okay, well then how about this? Everybody on the day that Wakanda Forever comes out, go see Black Adam and make Black Adam the top movie the week that Wakanda Forever opens. That's what you do.
I agree.
Well, and the thing is that like I always felt like the whole recasting issue of T'Challa was like really easy to handle because I can understand like maybe not recasting him immediately, but like it's like the MCU hops around its timeline a lot. It would have been so easy to make Wakanda Forever during the snap, during that 5-year period. They could have still addressed T'Challa's death because he was snapped. Shuri is now the Black Panther, whatever. You wait then 5 years, and for Black Panther 3, it's after the snap. You've recasted T'Challa, and you can continue on with the story. It's like so easy. I'm not a Hollywood writer, and I came up with a better story.
That makes perfect sense. But you know what I was thinking? Maybe they might do that. That actually would make sense. We don't know because we haven't seen the movie, but that would actually make complete sense to give them time to, like you said, eventually recast T'Challa. Eventually.
Good quote from my good friend John that I know. He lives not far from me. The only colour Disney care about is the colour of money.
Green.
I'm actually curious. Are they going to like...
That is a fucking great quote, John. Winner, chicken dinner.
Are they going to like CGI Ariel White? Is that what they're going to do, basically?
Apparently, yeah.
They've actually seen... They've actually, if you look around on the internet, Corey, you can actually find the deep fake that China did, where they made her white again, and she looks exactly like the cartoon character.
I saw the
they
picture.
made her white, and that's what they're going to do. They're going to make her. She's going to be Caucasian in China, and Disney is going to allow it because Disney wants that Chinese money.
Yeah. So if Disney really cared about black people, they would not let the Chinese change the color of the character.
No. You got to realize this, and Savage Bat, you may not know this, but when Disney was marketing The Force Awakens in China, they purposely made Finn the smallest character on the poster.
Yeah, I saw that. They've done that before with other movies. I think they did it with June as well.
Black Panther, for example.
There was some black characters in the poster. They removed them.
all the posters for Black Panther, T'Challa's face is covered. He has the mask for every single poster that they ever released in China. They are
Imagine their surprise going
They
in
are
and seeing that
outwardly.
movie.
They are.
Yeah.
They are some outwardly. They are some outwardly racist folks. I'm telling you, it's crazy.
We just need to
crazy.
tell the Chinese government to fuck off. We're not changing shit. If you don't want to see any movies ever again, fine. Or your people are going
But
to
see,
fucking
Corey, that's the
riot.
thing with
and-
China. In China, you know, it's the second biggest box office market, so they need
That's
that.
why. That's why. Ariel will be white,
Just don't wanna watch
and
it, so.
China. Exactly. It makes
Oh, so
perfect
fresh.
sense.
There you go. You know. So
Yes, I agree with Oh So Fresh. I agree with Oh So Fresh 100%.
Yeah,
You know what wants to do with the
but there's all sorts of problems with racism around the world, you know, and this is it's just highlights it really, and it's not all one way as well, you know.
What are you drinking, Batan? Is that Scotch?
I'm not drinking anything.
Not you, Batan. Bad Channel. I'm sorry.
Purple. I'm drinking some whiskey, man.
Man, that looked like
Whiskey.
That looked like Scotch. I was like, oh man, dude, really? Is it good?
Oh yeah, it's actually from Super Bro Corey. So it's a Chris Ledoux whiskey, Corey.
Oh, I'm really jealous because I can't drink at the moment.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Same here, actually.
affect your
It's
intelligence.
okay. So it's whiskey.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Is it apple? Is it apple whiskey? What kind?
Not really. It's like a cinnamon. I mean, it has a
Oh,
little bit
nice,
of
a
apple in it,
nice holiday whiskey,
but-
bro.
Yeah, it's a fall whiskey for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, Chad Snyderverse, they did do Thin and Dirty. We've talked about this on here before. John Boyega actually came out and said that they basically used him to sell, you know, target audience, like we were saying earlier, target people's wallets. We all knew by the end of The Force Awakens, Finn was going to become sort of main character Jedi, first black Jedi, not first black Jedi, first black Jedi that's a stormtrooper, that's going to be in the main new timeline and all that.
Be careful. They're gonna
then
pull
they-
your Star Wars card talking like that.
No,
Savage Bat,
you
because
know
he's
what
not the
you know
first
what I
Black
meant.
Jedi, bro.
No, you know what I meant. And they threw him under the bus in Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker.
Yes, they did.
And he was aware of that, you know. So yeah,
I saw like some fan art for Finn that was so cool, where it was like they did like a mix of
really
like,
wanted
Jedi
to-
robe with stormtrooper armor with his lightsaber, and I was like, oh
Yep.
man,
that'd have been so cool.
badass. You know?
Yeah, Red Hooded Outlaw, the sequel trilogy is trash anyway. I don't even know why we're talking about it again.
I think this became a Star Wars stream over Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
We're talking about it again
Squad
because
taking over.
we're talking about it again because Tales of the Jedi actually is on the path towards the Last Jedi. They're the stuff that they're showing us is building up towards that, so that we can understand why Luke Skywalker becomes a grumpy curmudgeon with no faith.
Because Lord knows that's the story I've been dying to see the reasoning
man.
for.
At least they're filling in the blanks. I'll give them credit for that at least.
Yeah, it's nothing new though. The
A lot
Emperor
of
says,
blanks.
the Emperor says it to the Emperor says it to Anakin in Revenge of the Sith. You know, the Jedi are no different. It's not breaking news.
And the
either,
Emperor
I mean.
prison doesn't look that bad in Andor. Looks like a good
Yeah,
place to be.
It's quite looks like a quite comfortable prison there.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving on. We've just like turned into Black Panther and Star Wars and Little Mermaid. Yeah. Yeah, under the sea, under the sea, under the. It's so much better. Down where it's wetter, under the sea. But anyway, right, let's move on. Let's move on to more cheerful news. James Gunn.
The Black Panther little channel.
James, what about James Gunn? Come on, everyone. I want to, I've talked to Zod about
We
this.
love him. We love him.
Yeah, it's been just such a like I said before, it was a punch in the gut hearing the news, but they're now realizing the implications of it and stuff like that. I'm not going to come out and say I'm a James Gunn fan now, because I'm not. I don't really like what he's done before, apart from Guardians of the Galaxy and his input on Dawn of the Dead. I don't like any of his stuff really, but it's obviously going to work in our favour because he's going to bring back Zack and stuff like that. But I just wanted to know all your thoughts and on it, because the social media was just a complete and utter shit show. It was a nuclear meltdown in the fandom. A lot of people actually left the fandom for good because of this gun news. So it's that bad, but all will be well in the future. I can see great things happening.
I agree. As many issues as I have with James Gunn, he respects other creators' visions. He does not want to impede on people like David Ayer or Zack Snyder. So as many issues as I do have with James Gunn, I'm still confident we're still going to get the Snyderverse. My issue with his promotion is more principle than concern for the Snyderverse. The fact
this comment.
Covering Cedric's face with the mask, a Japanese promo poster. Disney excelled themselves by promoting COVID safety and racism at the same time. That is quality. Another banger from John, mate. He's a good friend of mine. It's brilliant. Yeah, Gun will work in our favour, I think. Yeah, I think it will.
I think it was just one of those things where, like, we got awesome news, Black Adam, Superman's there. Yeah. He comes out Monday and he's like, oh, yeah, I'm back as Superman, working out the details. And then Tuesday we get, James Gunn's going to be the runner. Like, oh, shit. It's like, yeah, it was literally that. It was like, there were so many better options out there. We had some high hopes for some people. James Gunn's not a horrible person. Well, I don't like him personally. I don't like the stuff that he does personally. But as far as the show, movies go, he's had some good ones out there, and he may, as long as he follows the plan and we hold him accountable.
And it's just same in the chat here. Gunn will work in our favour. Still don't like him that much though. Fuck Gunn, but if it was still the Snyderverse, so be it. That's what I wrote on Facebook, pretty much that. I still hate it, but whether I've accepted it, pretty much the same with me there. Hashtag gun control. Savage Bet, you called it though in a stream you did with Seal a few months ago. The new regime won't do anything exactly the way the fandom wants, but Zaslav does have the fandom in mind. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's right.
Appease everyone. Everyone's gonna, no matter what you do, someone's gonna bitch.
There's always going to be something new to moan about. The gun thing was a bit of a hit, but fuck it. Do you know what I mean? Like we've got moving forward, and we've got Scylla Mikey, Scylla Abdul, Mikey Sutton got these insiders and stuff, and they're kind of they're saying that this is good because obviously Zack and. James Gunn are sort of friends or professional, in a professional capacity, whatever. Not quite sure where that lies.
I was like, I'm not a huge fan of Gunn myself. I enjoyed Guardians of the Galaxy, and stuff.
That was about it.
Yeah, but I'm not a huge fan of him. That being said, I really don't think it's going to be that bad, honestly, because looking at the two guys who they put in, was it Peter Safran and James Gunn? It definitely seems to me that that it's kind of like one, that Gunn is going to be handling more of like the overarching 10-year plan type thing, and then Peter is going to handle more of like the day-to-day production. That's what it seems like. And also, I think that looking at Gunn too, I mean, he supported the Ayer cut. He supported that coming out, which I was happy about. And of course, he's worked with Zack before in the future. In the past, and hopefully the future as well. And also one big thing too that I did like, that I think a lot of people have kind of put to the side, was that Walter Hamada was actively dismantling the DCEU. I mean, he was removing all connective tissue to that, and Gunn was the one who kind of brought it all back together at the end of Peacemaker by bringing the Justice League. That it was clearly Henry Cavill. I mean, it was a silhouette, but it was clearly him. It was clearly Wonder Woman. He brought in Ezra Miller and Jason Momoa. and he brought that back together. And so, so I got to give it to him a little bit that he pulled that universe back together a little bit. He sports the haircut. So I'm willing to wait and see. Like I said, he's not my 10th choice, to who I would have picked. No. But at the same time, I think it could be okay.
You have to shake hands with the devil sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
exactly. And he is a comic book nerd, I mean,
Salazar Rodriguez. Why do people hate Gunn so much? He did have Zack Snyder's Justice League at the end of Peacemaker. Yeah, it was just he made the effort, but he fucked it up. You know what I mean? The fish jokes and the silhouettes and the other actors being there. That wasn't his fault. He was trying to make the effort, but Peacemaker
and allegedly he's
terrible.
He wanted,
for the start.
He wanted Cyborg in that cameo at the end too, but Warner Brothers wouldn't let him.
Well, there you go. So there's another reason to maybe trust Gunn a little bit more. He's even thinking of Ray Fisher there. So
he apologized to Ray Fisher. That's one thing. He's one of the only people who's actually apologized to Ray Fisher for something that, let's be honest, wasn't as bad compared to some of these other people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it's the old regime. They're just fucking villains. They've been caught out so many times with all this bullshit. And that's why they're fired. That's why they no longer work at Warner Brothers, because they're incompetent. Known to be racist behaviour as well. Just every single mistake. When they done that thing when they tried to hide the numbers of how popular Zack Snyder's Justice League was.
That was so pathetic.
Right? Can you imagine?
Engagement for that movie was literally in the billions, and they tried to hide it.
Right? Yeah. Can you imagine Zaslav looking at that paperwork and saying, "Why did you do that? Like, this is money this is money in the bank for us, right? Do you know what? You're all fired." That's pretty much how it played out, because you don't the Zack Snyder's Justice League, as the lady said, it's a global phenomenon. It's got to the point now where some of my sort of non-superhero friends were even talking about it. Oh man, I saw Zack Snyder's Justice League. Wow, it's absolutely amazing. I was thinking, really? Bloody hell. Wow, that's cool to hear that, just people across the street know about it,
I mean, and that thing was flying off the shelves. I remember seeing so many
everyone I know, because I'm sort of involved in the fandom as well. I got loads of messages. Oh, I just watched the Snyder Cut. Absolutely love it. Thank you. It wasn't me that made it, by the way. But yeah, you know the score. But it's such great to see. And Zaslav knows that. There was been some talk today that with this hopeful Superman sort of thing that I knew the fans would latch onto and try and turn into a negative on Zack. Do you really think after the Teen Titans episode and the popularity of Zack Snyder's Justice League, they're not going to do the Dark Side War after all this? Of course they are. And that's what people were saying. That, no, they're going to scrap that now. It's going to be totally, all, this sort of hopeful Superman. But it's obviously not. It's just that's what that particular movie is going to be about.
Oh, yeah. Said he wanted this a while ago, even. Like, he wanted to see the hero of Superman before he...
And so did Zack Snyder. It's just that he was going to do it after Justice League. Now it's going to be before. Big wow,
I fully believe that we're going to be seeing the Dark Side War, because I mean, just 100%. Looking at like what Zaslav has done, he looked back and he was like, okay, we already have a Superman actor who's popular. Let's bring him back for the universe instead of rebooting. And I firmly believe that that's what he did when he looked at the 10-year plan. He's like, okay, we already have a popular movie that introduced Darkseid, introduced the threat. Okay, let's now build up to that in the 10-year plan to be the big finale. It's like, why go and do Crisis on Infinite Earths the way Hamada was going to do it when you already have the setup for your big Avengers movie?
Byron.
Hey, Matt's Mama Bear.
Just to piggyback off of what you were saying, the whole idea of the 10-year plan and moving towards Darkseid eventually invading. I thought about this. Zack Snyder actually gave us that in story when Darkseid said, we'll use the old ways. It's going to take Darkseid and his armada a long time to get to Earth, to invade in that way. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. So technically, if they wanted to, they could make Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 and 3 happen in the middle or at the end, almost at the end of the 10-year plan, because in continuity, you can use that as a reason. It's going to take a long time for Darkseid to invade.
Absolutely.
That's a good
And we
point.
gotta remember, Ben Affleck has got 3 years film contract as well, from Mikey Sun, which was reported, and
Yes.
and on top of that, right? For me personally, I'm prepared to give James Gunn one chance, but as soon as he fucks up, we can go on full blast on Twitter.
Oh, you guarantee I'll be there because I did. I mean, you guys saw me on Twitter on Sill's show. I was not happy about that. I was probably one of the vocal Twitter people being like, nope.
Nice Zazzle's first out.
Yeah. I honestly, it's like one of those, like, we've been, like, in my opinion, having Gunn is being dealt shit cards, but at the same time, there's nothing I can do about it. I can complain all day if I would like to, but he signed the contract for 4 years. He's not going anywhere. So I'm going to have to just deal with it, hope that he's smart, and signs that Restore the Snyderverse deal with Zach, and which I believe he will.
I believe
why
he
wouldn't
will.
you?
Yeah,
You know.
I believe he will, because just, you know, whatever you've got to say about Gunn, is definitely is smart. You know what I mean? He's a big time director. Now he's the head of DC. He's got there for a reason. Do you know what I mean? He didn't just fake his way up to that level in Hollywood. So just fingers crossed. Gunn doesn't fuck up really.
Absolutely. And I firmly believe that Zach is coming back in some way. Now, I don't know if he's going to be directing Man of Steel 2 just because of his deals with Netflix. He might be there as a producer like he did with Wonder Woman. But it's like Zaslav is, like I've said before, he's a cold hard businessman. He looks at the numbers, and the fact of the matter is that the internet says, "Oh, Zach, nobody likes him. Oh, he's so, controversial." But the box office doesn't lie. And Zach has consistently delivered huge openings, huge worldwide grosses on his films. And also, he delivered, because we can't count 2017's Justice League as his, because it wasn't, that when we look at his third movie, Zack Snyder's Justice League, it was a critical hit. It was a hit with the fans, and it sold like gangbusters, on physical media. It was a huge streaming hit. It was everything that Zaslav is looking for, for DC films. Why wouldn't he want him to come back to either direct Justice League or Man of Steel 2 or 3 or something? Of course he's going to be looking at Zach with those numbers.
And to be fully honest, Zach still holds the record for Netflix with theatrical release. When Army of the Dead released, it released during COVID, and because theaters were still being, theaters are, I don't know if you guys know this, they're still kind of bent out of shape about Netflix being like the first big streaming service, so they don't like to allow them in theaters. So it was really just Cinemark that allowed them in a few of their theaters, and I think Netflix has released like 4 or 5 films in theaters, and his film during COVID, not many theaters, is the #1 Netflix theatrical release in history. So, I mean, that says something too,
Wow. I did not know that. That's very good to know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, YMC, I know, wasn't an option. I went to another local, smaller theater chain myself, but yeah, lots of the big chains were not allowing Army of the Dead.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, first we had to watch it on Netflix. So
yeah, there was a way of me watching it, but I couldn't, because my mum's immune compromised, so I couldn't risk it anyway. But I think that's the only Zack Snyder film I didn't see at the cinema. I think.
Yeah, that was the same. I watched it. I watched it on Netflix. But yeah, I don't think there was actually any theaters showing it near me. But I'm the same way as you, Savage Bat. That I have family members who were compromised. So I was staying home the whole time. But yeah, I mean, Army of the Dead was at the time of its release, it was in the top 10 Netflix all time chart. I mean, it's like Zach's got his fans, you know, and very large at that. You know, everyone's like, "Oh, Twitter, it's just like a few thousand people retweeting
It's
over
bots.
and over again." You know, yeah, it's bots. So it's like,
It's
okay,
bots,
how did bots make Army of the Dead, you know, the #8 movie of all time on Netflix? You know, it's like,
yeah, it was amazing, and you know, sort of having a little bit of a friendship with Richard Centrone, and he was having such a big role for me. I messaged him that day saying, "Oh my God, congratulations!" And he was like, "Oh, thanks, David. That's really nice of you to say." And I was like, "Oh, you know, you the man," and all that. It was just that as well, you know, because he was like the main villain. You know, that was so cool for me.
he was a scary villain too. Like,
Yeah, he's brilliant.
You know, he was great.
Can't praise Centrone enough. He is the fucking man, and yeah, that was something special.
Yeah, man, Richard Citrone's is a badass. We need like Sarah and I, because obviously Halloween. We love the Underworld franchise, and he's actually in the very first movie as one of the werewolves. And he's like, when you see him, you're like, holy shit, there he is. You know, like Richard Citrone. You know, and he doesn't have like a small like just extra role on there. He like, speaks in it and everything. It's just like he's a complete badass in it.
Oh, just a side note, yeah, those Underworld movies. I haven't seen the last two, but I loved that original trilogy. Like those were
oh yeah, man,
were great movies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, not a huge fan myself, but you know they're all right.
They're fun.
Yeah.
They're fun.
Yeah.
It was like the original werewolf vampire hype before Twilight, so you got to give it credit. Before
You don't like the Underworld, Savage?
Not really. No, to be honest with you, I'm gonna just be brutally honest. Yeah.
I see. I feel like you would be all over Kate Beckinsale, bro.
Hey,
yeah, she's very nice, but you know, I don't know. It's just something, you know. People like it. People like it. It's fair enough. Just not one for me. That. Nah. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
I think
you know,
it's okay.
it's attractive women, great action set pieces. It's like the Matrix with vampires. You know, it's like mid-2000s rock soundtrack.
Yeah. Perhaps I'll go back and give them a rewatch and give them a second chance. Maybe. Now there's quite a few of them. I'll give them a second chance. Just yeah.
I mean, don't expect like masterpieces with it, you know, but like
No.
I mean, it's just like a fun, you know, something to watch during Halloween season, you know.
Yeah.
It is actually interesting how sometimes there's been movies that when I've caught them on a rewatch that they have improved with me. Like I remember not liking the fourth Pirates of the Caribbean movie all that much when I saw it, and then I rewatched it like last night, and I was like, "Hey, man, this is actually like pretty good." I was like, "I don't know why I disliked it so much when it came out."
Better than the fifth one.
Yeah, it was great. I liked it. You know, I'm on tap to watch the fifth one again in a couple of days. But yeah, I liked that fourth one. A good comedy. You know, fun action.
Yeah, I will give it a second chance based on this, you know, and people's reaction to me not liking it.
Generally hurt by it.
Since I've hurt some feelings.
Hey, but you know, you're in you're in company, Savage Bat, because you know I have the unpopular opinion of not being the biggest fan of Army of the Dead. You know, like I liked it, but I was not as big of a fan as a lot of other people were, even though I still supported 100% being Zach's work.
To me, it was just an insane genre mix mash. It was sci-fi, horror, and like drama. It was just like crazy and it's just like only one man would think of an idea like that.
Yeah.
Zombie Tiger. I mean, who else would do a zombie tiger?
Oh,
and Snyder.
Only Zack Snyder does zombie. Only Zack Snyder does zombie tigers. That
scene was wild. That was a good scene. I'm not gonna. That was good.
And he just
really
showed
looking
that
forward
recasting
to that.
someone as possible post production too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
In
how
fact,
brilliant to market that tiger, you know, Valentine, you know, and everyone just like went nuts about that tiger. It was like when you think about it, it's a freaking zombie tiger. Like that's. You know, just like the dude says, you know, that's crossing the line. But like, it was freaking amazing. You know, we were all rooting for that tiger.
I'm really looking forward to the Army of the Dead. You know more to come, and obviously Rebel Moon. I've got this clip. I wasn't sure whether to show it or not because I'm not quite sure what the the issues are. But we'll see how it goes, and we'll see what you think of this. This is a little bit of a teaser of Rebel Moon. Yeah. So there you go, and the Feelings Activated poster the cast put up as well.
Yes.
At the end. Sophia
It
Botelli,
reminds me. It reminds me a lot of Zod's ship.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, not this, Don.
For Man of Steel. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I love how he's using a lot of practical effects too.
I know.
Yeah, I mean the
really
size
cool.
the size of that ship. You know, you can see how big it is next to those containers. It's huge. And Zach showed a photo of it in the background of one of his pictures. But yeah, also that poster that they made for Zach and put up there that Sophia Patella posted on Instagram. I mean, you know, that just proves you what kind of environment is Zack Snyder creating for, you know, on a set to work for them to do something like that for him.
There's a
is incredible.
reason why everybody loves him that he works with.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? That's just the proof there. You know, for Zach to have come back into work the next morning and looked up and seen that, he must have been like, "What the fuck?"
And I remember I saw like a tweet one time where somebody said like, anonymous accusation is leveled at Zack Snyder that he is an amazingly kind and wonderful human being. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, there's an old one that's just very similar about Henry Cavill, and it's like multiple women have come forward and said that Henry Cavill is just an incredible, all-round incredible guy and really lovely. That's true. But yeah, Rebel Moon, we haven't really. Zach's been very sort of secretive about the whole thing, cryptic about the whole thing. All we've got to see so far is the little bit of the ship and a few photos of characters and stuff, and
Concept art.
the competition that Zach done where you could win a trip to LA with your concept art for Rebel Moon to actually
Make me wish I was an artist.
to make you be a character in it. Yeah, well, you know, Aaron Bailey Art, he was one of the people that won it. I saw his post the other day. I'm friends with him on Facebook. Congratulations, Aaron, on that. He was one of the contenders. His character looked really, really cool.
He's taking you, right?
Huh?
He's taking you?
No, unfortunately not. No, I don't really speak to him much. He's just, you know, just on my timeline. But you know, his art's always been in the superhero thing.
Oh,
yeah. Nice.
He's
like, really talented. Yeah.
He's really talented. He's like a sort of a good version of Boss Logic, if you like.
Yeah, yeah.
Shots fired. Yeah, but so we haven't really got much to say about Rebel Moon other than we're really excited about it. That ship has really given me Studio Ghibli vibes. Laputa Castle in the Sky, that kind of thing. Just the sort of design and shape of it and things like that. But I think we're in for a real treat with Rebel Moon. It's going to be something special. You know, it was originally supposed to be a Star Wars script, and Disney turned it down. So, you know, what a slap in the face to Disney. If Rebel Moon skyrockets, they're going to be pissed.
I think the best thing that could have happened for Zach was to not do a Star Wars thing because he would have been held back by what
he would have.
Disney
Netflix
allowed.
pretty much, said you do what you want.
Yeah, I mean, look at what's happening with Andor. People are saying it's really well written, but no one's watching it. No one gives a shit about it. But in a way,
tragic.
Yeah, and it's sad because it is actually a very good show. They're doing a really good job, but Star Wars fans are kind of like, this is not Star Wars.
Nobody cares.
Yeah, but here
everybody's yawning and sleeping.
Doesn't have to worry about that not being Star Wars. It's his universe, and it's just a testament to show. I mean, think about this. Not only has he built the DC universe, he built the Army of the Dead universe, and now he's building this Galaxy Rebel Moon universe. Like, the man is like insanely incredible.
There's
like,
already two Rebel Moons in the bag, but like he said originally when he first said about doing Rebel Moon, I planned for this to be a big IP of its own. And I can, it's written in the stars. excuse the pun. That it's going to be popular.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys have heard, but Netflix is actually considering creating like a gaming service on their streaming. And I wouldn't be surprised that if this really takes off, if Rebel Moon is just a huge explosive IP for them, Rebel Moon will probably be getting some games along with it. So yeah, man, it's gonna be exciting.
And also as well, the sort of alien story in Army of the Dead. What if Rebel Moon is connected to it?
I think it might be.
I wondered about that.
What if it's the same universe? And Rebel Moon and Army of the Dead crossover.
I wouldn't be surprised. Because I know
this is the real Snyderverse.
Yeah. I read recently that I can't remember who it was at Netflix. It was one of their executives, said that basically they were moving away from like kind of the one-off films, that they wanted to build these universes within their their service, because they said that's what people like. It's what they're doing with The Witcher, like multiple spin-offs, standalones. And they've obviously been doing it with Army of the Dead, so I would not be surprised at all if they did that with Rebel Moon, or like you guys said, crossed over with Army of the Dead and created a mega universe. They want people watching.
I wouldn't be disappointed if it's not, but it would be cool if it is, because that would be such like Blade Runner and Alien are connected, like that. Subtle nods. In both
Blade Runner and Alien are connected.
They are.
Oh yeah. Well, for
Yes.
starters, Dallas, before he worked for Wayland, worked for the Tyrell Corporation. On his list, the computer screen that's in the police cars for taking off and landing is the same screen and same digital display as the first Alien movie. There's so many Easter eggs in Blade Runner as well. There's crossovers to Alien as well.
I'm gonna have to rewatch Blade Runner now because I watched it like a couple years ago, and it was. For some reason, I had trouble getting into it, and I checked my watch on Blade Runner. I'm sorry, I did. But
cancel Trey.
But I love the Alien series.
Man, Trey, I don't know, man.
I promise. I don't know why.
You're treading on thin ice. You're treading on thin ice with Blade Runner, man.
I know. It's weird because you would think I would like it, and for some reason, when watching it, I was just like, and maybe it's because I watched it in a backwards order, where I watched the 2049 film before that one. But I don't know.
Which version did you watch? Did you watch the final cut, or did you watch? Because there's multiple. There's multiple. Watch the final cut of Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Also, cool.
Oh, I was gonna say, two other Easter eggs too that connected them as well was in the, I think it was the special edition for Prometheus, I think, Ridley Scott included a letter from Peter Wayland to Tyrell where they talked about replicants.
That's right.
Yes. And there was also in the Kurt Russell sci-fi movie Soldier.
That's what I was just about to get to that.
Oh my god.
I'll let you take that one, Savage Bat.
No, that's exactly what I was just about to
uh-huh.
say. Soldier is actually the hidden Blade Runner Alien movie.
Yes.
That's not only got ties to both franchises. There's a picture, a scene in it of the stats of Kurt Russell's character. And if you go down to his awards, it says, I can't remember exactly what they are, but one of them's the Pliskin Award, Snake Plissken.
Yeah.
And it's all little tributes to the characters he's played over the years as well. And that was originally supposed to be Blade Runner 2. But, you know, for whatever reason, they couldn't do it, so they just put a different label on it. And, Kurt Russell's character in Soldier is a Nexus 8 replicant. That's
100%.
You know, when they talk about working off-world and, you know, the C-beams, you know, and all that, that's what they're talking about, is Kurt Russell's character, you know, out in outer space, you know, off-world and the colonies and stuff. Yes, that's the secret movie. But there is so many of those little Easter eggs in Alien thing. You'll have to look them up, Trey, because there's some of them, you know, they're just really, really, really cool.
I'll have to check that. And which cut do you guys recommend? Because I know there's like 4 different cuts of that film.
I'd probably say the final cut's probably the best.
The final cut.
Okay.
Yeah.
And one final tie-in to Alien and Blade Runner too that a lot of people don't realize is that technically, if you want to go with it, technically the Firefly TV series is also in that universe. Because when you see during one of the flashback scenes of the war, you actually see when they're flying in the ship that the targeting system that pops up actually says that it's created by Wayland, and it has the Wayland logo and says like Wayland like weapons tech or something like that on it.
Yep, it's in there. It's in that timeline.
Yeah. Oh, and if you want to know, another one is Underwater with is it Kirsten Dunst?
Oh, you know, you're talking about Kristen Stewart.
Kirsten Stewart, yeah.
I like that.
That's also set in the Alien universe.
What? Hold on. What?
Yeah. Well, if you look closely, the French actor that's like the captain of the ship under the water, his underwater suit has actually got the Wayland logo on it.
Holy shit! Now I gotta rewatch that because I saw that and it was actually not a bad film.
I really like it. It's one of my sort of.
And actually, the first appearance of the Wayland logo is actually in Steven Spielberg's Jaws.
Yeah.
First appearance of the Wayland logo.
So
Bat
that's
Channel
like
just like
5-6 movies connected.
Yeah.
All right, guys. On that note, I'm gonna leave and watch some of these movies.
Get to watch it. You got a lot of movies to watch, Trey.
Savage blew both of our minds today. You blew both of our minds today. That's the best part. You fucked with me and Trey. That's the best.
Yeah, and also, just on a side note, if you're going to watch Prometheus, watch the fan edit, which has Wayland's speech at the beginning that was removed from the movie. Several different scenes that really
that
missing
link,
out.
Savage, to watch that fan.
I'll try and find it. I've actually got it on download, but I don't have the torrent file or whatever. But I'll try and find that for you because if you're a fan of Alien, you can't miss the fan edit of Prometheus. It's ridiculous and
fantastic.
And also if you can take the time to listen to the audio book, Alien Covenant Origins, which leads up to Alien Covenant before the ship leaves Earth. It's absolutely amazing. Totally puts a whole new perspective on the movie. And there's several deleted scenes and extra bits that Ridley Scott released on the internet separately. There's even a scene of David at the end contacting Wayland and saying, "I've got the alien, come get me, motherfuckers," basically, which is leading up to number 3.
We got to get number 3.
It's got to happen. It's got to happen. That's a big one for me. That's like restore the Snyderverse levels, restore the David verse.
That scene with him quoting Ozymandias as is
Yeah.
just like
King
so
of
good.
Kings. Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. Oh, no, I can't believe we've ended up in this direction. We've gone full blown alien and Blade Runner here.
Little Mermaid and Aliens in one stream.
Yeah.
I'm a cop, you idiot.
Yeah, Detective John Kimball. Get out of here.
Come on.
What if this new Little Mermaid movie is part of the Aliens verse too?
Yeah.
Oh god. I mean, we went from the Snyderverse to Little Mermaid and Black Wakanda, and now we're on to Prometheus and Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Let's go where no one thought we would go before.
Yeah. Hardcore fans that just joined to, listen to Snyderverse news. They're like,
I haven't got time for this Mickey Mouse bullshit.
Oh man.
Yeah. Oh, fucking hell. But no, it's great to talk about all these different subjects and that. And this is what this channel is about. This is the chill out lounge for all things like that.
All things Little Mermaid.
All things Little Mermaid. So what we've got up next, we've got the old regime is completely gone now. Oh yeah, that was it. The ridiculousness of the way the extremist side of the fandom is reacting, not just to the James Gunn thing, but just in general about everything to do with DC and the Snyderverse. It's a constant negative narrative. And I believe it's because they want to keep the fight going, because as soon as the fight's over, they'll become irrelevant. Because
they know it.
Yeah, they know it's coming. And the war's over, and it's going to be time to celebrate. And stuff like channels like in the Seal Nation, myself, and we're kind of trying to sort of be positive and stuff like that, and we will continue to be positive. I mean, once the Snyderverse is restored, we're gonna have all these movies to talk about, celebrate and dissect. Like we did with Batman versus Superman. There's still stuff in that movie that people haven't spotted. Zack Snyder confirmed that. He said, "I can't believe people haven't spotted it yet." And we're gonna have all that over again. And we've had a nice little taster with Black Adam. But yeah, what do you guys just think about this waning old part of the fandom that is really causing more damage than good, in my opinion?
They're like a dog chasing cars. They wouldn't know what to do with one if they caught it.
Yeah,
that's pretty much
good. Yeah,
that's the best way to explain it.
Metaphor for the whole situation.
Which I got from the Dark Knights, which I guess everyone here knows.
You're gonna have to throw in a couple of royalty dollars to the Heath Ledger estate there, buddy.
Because I think it's kind of interesting going on to what Savage Bat has said too. That I kind of view some of the like what we're saying, the more extreme side of the Snyder fandom. That it's almost kind of reminds me of resistance fighters in like World War II or something like that. That it's kind of like you get to a point where it's kind of like where you hear a lot of sometimes when you've read old stories that they'd be like, when the war is over, I didn't know what to do with myself. Like my entire identity was in this fight. My entire life was this fight. And then it's kind of like, sometimes you almost don't want it to end, like what you were saying, Savage Bat, because you don't know what to do with yourself. But then you have to, as you said, you have to segue of now it's the celebration. Now it's the supporting, this world and this universe. And it's just segueing to a different period of the fandom. It's not, it just because the fight is ending doesn't mean that the fandom is ending or that the celebration of the universe is ending.
Yeah, and that reminds me of a true story of a Japanese soldier on a remote island that held the island until I think it was the early 70s.
Yeah,
and he didn't know that World War II was over.
Yeah,
no one.
Wow.
No one had reached him, and every time someone went to say it's over, we surrender, he was like, "No, I don't believe you." And he kept it going all those years, and that's exactly what they're doing. Someone's got to tell them that the war is over.
The war is over. I don't know it.
Yeah. We'll meet again. Don't know where. Don't know when. That's what we should all be singing. When they restore the Snyderverse.
I've coined them as the never satisfied fans. They're just never satisfied. They can't find the good in anything, and they're just going to keep on finding anything and everything.
Like the Fandom Menace. They're basically the Fandom Menace of DC.
Mm-hmm.
We got celebrity in the chat, by the way, guys.
Yeah,
it's what Zod. It's what you said. Zack Snyder betrayed Zack Snyder.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, so I got way behind with the chat there. We got completely distracted.
Yeah, we got Sil Abdul in the chat, y'all. What's up, Sil?
Really?
Sil.
Yeah, that's it. Let's
We're the Suicide Squad.
No, we're the Justice League.
He retconned that later.
Yeah, I just right. No, that's I've gone too far. I've gone too far up now.
The conversation of live stream on Tuesday, Zod. Right?
Look, the shit giving you quick. Yeah, we'll put all the way back to the Rebel Moon thing again now. Yeah, let's go. People are saying hi to each other. Rebel Moon is going to be amazing. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's activated. 100%. Yeah. Can't wait for Rebel Moon. You see, the buzz around Rebel Moon is just monumental. We all know we're really going to get something special with that. And as also this narrative that certain Zack Snyder fans don't support his other projects. Well, that simply ain't true. There is again some extremists, very small extremist people that don't, but for the most part, of course we support Zack's other projects. You know what I mean? It's not rocket science.
There's just nothing to talk about right now, and we don't have to fight for it because Netflix is giving it.
Yeah, not only that, there's not much information out there to talk about. It's been kind of very secretive. All we've seen is just a few little clips here and there. Lord Kojak in the house, yes, mate. Shout out to you, brother. I'm a Star Wars fan. I love all 6 films. I love the Disney Plus series. The only Star Wars film I hate is The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. Yeah, that's right. It's tragic. Disney chose to ignore the expanded universe. Yeah, straight up, Andor is probably my favourite Star Wars show so far because I like that way of storytelling. Each to their own, but I like it to be drawn out a bit and given a thing.
I need to go back and finish Andor because I saw the first episode and I enjoyed it. But I just haven't gone back and finished the other ones.
It gets better in episode 3. It takes 3 episodes for it to really get there.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Army of the Dead is the backstory of Dead Planet that will be in Rebel Moon. Yeah, well, maybe that theory's that's a very strong theory that they're connected. But I won't be disappointed if it's not. It's just it would be cool if it was. On the that's what started it off was the Alien and Blade Runner thing, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we've got porn bots in the
yeah, I got
chat.
rid of it.
Oh, you got rid of it already. Good man.
Yeah.
And you actually got rid of them, right? You didn't time them out.
Bots, you know what? Those bots are from Wayland, actually. So,
yeah.
We are in the alien universe.
Soldier was made by Anderson, who's a fan of Alien and directed Aliens vs. Predator. There you go. Yeah, he's done some belters. The ambient sound is identical during the scene in Alien when Lambert comes to ask about Jane's condition in the scene in Blade Runner when Deckard returns to Rachel after facing off against Batty. Me and John have spoke about this. It was John that told me about that, funny enough. But in the real. Yeah. Yeah, final cut of Blade Runner. I think that's probably the best version. I have the actual 4K steelbook, which is one of my favourite steelbooks.
The final cut is a masterpiece. It really tightens everything up and just makes it all glorious. I mean, and there's so many different cuts. I love the Denver work print, but hey.
We've got a disruption in communications, and that can only mean one thing: invasion. Mikey Sutton is in the house.
I am taking control over your YouTube channel.
How you doing, Mikey?
I'm doing well. I just got done recording with Phil, the other members' video. Actually,
Cool.
2 members' videos that are pretty
Oh,
smoking
damn.
hot. By the way, I saw Blade Runner opening night at the Metro Cinema in Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona, 1982. Virtually empty theater, which was sad to me to no end. Like, it's Harrison Ford, come on, you know. The audience was completely bored out of their minds. I was the only one getting into it. And I was like, it's not bode well for the box office. I absolutely love that film. In fact, that was the first video disc I ever owned. That's how old I am. That video disc player was Blade Runner, and I watched it over and over again. I just wanted to bring that out there, you know. Where my
Mikey, you are a manimal, bro. You got it.
Manimal, there you go.
Shout out to Sil Abdul in the chat. You're always welcome to join whenever. I know you're busy, but whatever. But you're always welcome on here, man. Yeah. But we've been delving deep into crossover universes and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Alien and Blade Runner.
Oh, Ridley Scott, right? Ridley Scott fan, because you love Alien. I know that Savage Bat. So
yeah. I was minus 2 when Alien came out, so I missed that one originally.
I saw that one. I saw that one at the Base Theater in Sacramento, California. That movie scared the hell out of me, and I thought I wouldn't, but at the end when the alien was like lying down there, like what? Oh my god, it scared the shit out of me. I always wanted. Did you guys ever get the Alien action figure from the 70s? I always wanted that.
Sorry, from Russell. Say that again.
Did you guys ever get a hold of the Alien action figure, the first one that came out? Came out in '79, and a lot of parents did not want to buy their kids that figure. It was too scary looking.
Was it a xenomorph?
The xenomorph, yeah, dude. I never got. I never could.
I wonder if it had. I wonder if it had that real smooth skin, you know, like, and it would be like eerie to touch it.
I never got a chance, you know. And it's like sells for like I don't know, probably a couple of grand now on eBay probably. I don't know how much it costs now, but I always wanted one. I never saw it. So one of those things. So, guys, I'm really writing an article right now about Henry Cavill's new contract. I'm going to talk about it on Scoop Center on Tuesday. According to Giant Freaking Robot, Henry Cavill has signed for 3 films. And we'll discuss that in the article. And also, I'll have more details on Scoop Center on Tuesday at 5 o'clock.
Awesome. Make sure every time you address, Henry Cavill, though, you have to say Henry, the movie star Cavill. That's important.
That's a big one now.
Yeah. Just want to confirm everyone's.
Absolutely.
The Witcher like that for Superman. I mean,
I gotta tell you, Bad Dan, that's one hell of a cameo for him to leave The Witcher, right?
Mike,
yeah.
I'm gonna post this.
Yeah, totally.
Mikey, I'm gonna post this in the chat. I think this is the figure that you're talking about. And you can click on it and see if this is the one you're talking about, because the one looks awfully familiar. Though.
There we go. Look, Sil Abdul's members, get your notifications on for tonight. Little upload drop-in just recorded with Mikey. So there you go, guys. If you're members.
Oh yeah, the members videos about the third Man of Steel film. Yeah, that's how far ahead we are.
Third Man of Steel film.
Oh,
right. There you go. So yeah,
shit.
members of Sil Abdul Inc. get on the case. My membership ran
Hey,
out.
Fox. Oh man, I'm Brian Dreamwalker 3, and God, I'm having so much. Zod, I'm having a ball.
Hey,
dude.
Snyder Queen.
Awesome.
Zod is fun to write, man. He is just fun to write. He's such a dick, and then the comic is great.
Awesome, dude.
He cusses at Savage Bat in Filipino, which is just, I couldn't stop laughing. Just trying to imagine Zod saying a Filipino curse word in Savage Bat. It's hysterical. You know?
Oh, I can imagine that in real life.
Yeah, I'll be like, what the fuck does that even mean? Fucking say it to me!
Yeah. That was like, how do I say cunt in Philippines, you know?
Yeah. But it's not hard to write my character, you know. I'm an arsehole in real life, so I'm going to be an arsehole in the comic. I know, really.
You have such an attitude. See, Zod's more of a cold, detached dude that has like really sarcastic one-liners. Savage Bat, you're in your face, you're brutal. You're just flat out rude, right? You're flat out rude.
No change there.
If you guys ever watch this old British punk sitcom called The Young Ones, like a Savage Bat would have fit on that show. That's how rude he is. Rude boy.
But, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
It's funny because when I was writing Dreamwalker 3, I had a certain plot in mind, but now the plot's starting to open up, and I'm like, hey, when I do this? And it's getting more and more demented now. It's second one was gory. This is still gory, but it's more demented. It's just really sick. Especially the ending is just Anyway. A lot of fun things coming up.
I gotta get going.
Yeah, no worries, Nightmare Robin. See you soon, mate.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Peace out. Speak to you soon, mate. Laters. Yeah, sorry. What was you saying there, Mikey? About
so the third issue is still gory. The second one, but it's very, very twisted. Especially the ending. I won't spoil it, but the story keeps evolving because when you're writing a script, it like starts somewhere and then you end up going somewhere else. You get an idea, and it starts to develop further from that. And then Zod keeps sneaking into the book. Like I thought he appeared like one or two panels, but now he's on one page. And I'm like, I can bring Zod back later. Okay. But he's such a dick. He's fun to write. Like it's like being, like I can't be a dick like that in real life, but I can pretend I'm Zod.
Yeah, you could give me those qualities.
Exactly. And Savage Bat's like he's drunk all the time. He's so rude.
Well, that's kind of true to life. I mean,
that's brilliant. There's no change there.
I'm doing research on bats now to try to figure out how offensive I can make his character, right? It's just a lot of fun. And I can't stay long, guys. I wanted to make my Grace Randolph cameo.
Well, it's always happy to have you, Mikey.
Love being here.
Always.
Had a lot of fun recording with Sil today, so it was a blast.
Yeah.
I'll put in the chat, by the way, guys. Geekosity's Mag YouTube page. Make sure you guys do subscribe to it.
Have you guys hit 1,000 yet, Mikey? I knew you were.
Yeah, we have. No, we hit 1K.
Congratulations on that. And congratulations on the 2-year-old Henry Cavill returning Superman scoop, Mikey. I mean, talk about in the future. There.
That's one of my best receipts ever. The fact
that's a big one, and no one believed you.
No one did. No one did. No, they thought I was being ridiculous. I thought but I was just trying to make you guys feel good, trying to grift you guys with joy, you know, whatever, you know.
We've dealt with bourbon, a lot of bourbon.
Yeah, grifting is not something that you do, and I don't know why it's taking these people so long to figure that out. But hey, whatever.
I really
it's not way in the future,
really
so-
wanted to put out there the Steiner versus getting erased, right? How is that grifting? I mean, that was me 2 years ago.
Yeah, because you were not a Snyder fan at all, Mikey. You were like, it was like you were the last person that people would think would have scooped the Snyder Cup. But yeah, you were the guy.
Yeah, I'm surprised Sil and I even started broadcasting together because I was not a Snyder fan. I was an MCU guy, and I loved Greg Berlanti, and he was like, "Can I put Greg Berlanti on my other channel?" Sil told me.
Bloody hell. But anyway, it's all turned out good in the end, and now you've got the receipt. So yeah, just congratulations on the whole thing.
Yeah, thank you, man.
You and Sil Abdul Inc. You know, check it out, guys.
It's been like an uphill climb, man. 2 years of getting nothing but like hatred and you know, like, oh, Henry Cavill's never coming back. He's moved on, and Ben Affleck's never coming back, and you know, it's just ridiculous, man. But now you guys are seeing it, you know, the reality of the situation right now. You know, Affleck's back, and all of a sudden, the cameo man has quit The Witcher. For why?
It's like another song, Mikey, from 1986. I don't mind at all.
Oh, they have bourgeois tags. Yeah, I know that. That's actually that'll be in the story, by the way.
I kind of figured it would.
It's gotta be, man. It's gotta be.
I personally haven't been shedding no tears for The Witcher, to be honest with you.
Yeah, same.
Superman's more important.
The Witcher news is perfect though, because I feel like Henry Cavill handpicked Liam Hemsworth to come in and take over that role. I feel like Cavill picked the guy to replace him.
Yeah.
I don't like throwing shade at people, but Grace Randolph is just hilarious, right?
Yeah, I know.
Well, apparently Cavill's now the movie person. Like, what?
It wasn't. I think it was.
And he's disloyal for leaving The Witcher.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It wasn't until today, Byron, you know, Grizz McGee posted that parody video. I didn't realise it was like from 3 years ago. And it was of someone faked, like Grace Randolph, going, Henry Cavill is not even a good actor. And all this sort of stuff. I mean, it's so way ahead of its time.
You know what I want to see? I want to see a movie with Henry Cavill, The Mandalorian, and Jessica Chastain, and make Grace watch it. Her mind would explode, right?
Oh my god! Oh,
I mean, Grace Moody lost credit. I mean, you know what's funny though? She already got dumped by Henry Cavill even before he even got a chance.
Yeah, I know. Seriously, you know. I mean, like, yeah, I tell you. Hey guys, I gotta get going, but I just wanted to say hi everybody out here. So,
yeah, thank you so much, Mikey. For
have a great night, Mikey.
You guys. I'll see you later.
See you later. See you next weekend, mate.
Bye.
Much love, respect. It was always a pleasure to have the legendary Mikey Sutton in the house. And Sil Abdul in the chat. The future has taken root in the present. I'll go back a little bit because there was some funny shit about Canadians and cookies that was going on here. No, we don't get those cookies here. The girls hate Canadians. Damn Girl Scouts, we have to smuggle some for you.
Just like Americans hate Kinder Eggs.
The what?
Americans hate those Kinder Eggs with the toys in them.
Well, they're banned, aren't they, in America?
Yeah.
Yeah, because of the choking hazard, yeah. Now, we still have them over here. That's right. We don't mind, we don't mind choking. You know,
I'm surprised yours doesn't come with like drugs or something in it.
With what?
With drugs, I'm surprised your Kinder Eggs don't come.
Yeah, drugs or alcohol. That's what we're well known for. Is the Brits just a bunch of alcoholics? I'd be open to anything but Thin Mints. We get those and knockoff Oreos. Yeah, I do like the Oreos. The knockoff ones aren't too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congrats to Mikey for 1K
I really
on
want
YouTube
Oreos
page.
now.
I know, me
Yeah.
too.
Oh, so fresh. The Witcher fandom is now going to have a Henry OnlyFans. Lol.
I mean, I won't
Do you know-
deny, as someone who watched The Witcher, I would tell you he's the one that got me into that universe. Reading my wife's reading the books, I'm playing the video games, and it's a huge loss because that dude was Geralt. Like he was perfect for that role, truly.
Yeah.
So I'm bummed about it too. I'll
Yeah,
probably
that's-
still check it out, but if Liam's not as good as Henry, then I'll probably check out.
No, but back channel. It's a downgrade. That's what it is. It's a downgrade.
Exactly. I know, and
From-
that's the heart. Honestly, the truth is, just gonna say it. The Witcher show is dead at this point. Like season 4 is gonna happen. The ratings are gonna be down. The 7 seasons, that they confirmed. I would be surprised if that goes down.
I'm surprised they didn't kill him off.
They'll probably do number 4 and then tie the story up with a 5th season, maybe.
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
No, they should.
Yeah, because I feel like The Witcher was very much a star driven type show. I mean, because
I only watched it because Henry Cavill was in it.
Yeah, that was the whole reason why I started too. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that really lovely girl, the one from the first season, she was very nice. Can't even remember her name now, but I'm very surprised. The Witcher fandom are kind of taking it all right for the moment, but I was expecting there to be a little bit of a war going on between Witcher fans and Snyder fans, but that didn't happen. It's all.
I mean, what are they gonna do?
Yeah.
Say it's because of you guys he left. You mean Henry Cavill signed his own deal? That's our fault.
Well, it kind of is really because we have been campaigning for
But
it
he's
for
not
fucking
gonna have,
years.
he's not gonna have time though. That's the problem. That's why he had to step down. There's only so much time. I mean, what do people want?
In all honesty, I don't think anyone can fully put the blame on him getting back to Superman because he was openly unhappy with the story writing of how they were kind of teetering away from the books and the video games and doing their own thing. He was not a fan of that. But also I speculate that it's not only Superman that he got. I wonder if the James Bond deal went through.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Oh, that would be very interesting.
See, it's easier to do movies, like multiple movies in a movie in a series, because it's less commitment with the movie. So
that actually makes a lot of sense, because one thing that I did wonder about was I thought, okay, even if he has to do Superman, I thought, streaming TV shows are extremely flexible about being able to take time. Like, why would they not be able to push filming The Witcher an extra 6 months so that he can finish, Man of Steel 2? It doesn't make sense. But if he is James Bond, that would explain that they couldn't, because it would be years.
Yeah, 2 franchises would be very difficult to keep on his shoulders, on anyone's shoulders, really.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Man,
there's a little bit of an American football war going on here with. Hey, still don't hit me, but how about them Cowboys? I don't follow American football, but I'm taking it. This is a little bit of a bit of football rivalry going on here.
Well, I mean, one fun fact about the Cowboys was that the Cowboys Stadium was actually a safe spot during COVID, because you can't catch anything at their stadium.
How?
Yeah.
Cowboys fans are going to hate me.
Lovely to see you here, Snyder Queen. I wouldn't be surprised if you got 0072, even with Superman and Trinity movies, etc. We're definitely getting more Cavill than one Superman movie. Me and Zod already touched on this with the James Bond theory. 10-year plan. We're going to be getting James Bond in 2023. 33. No, 32. 2032. 10-year plan. It makes sense. Once he's done playing Superman, he'll play James Bond. That's what I'm calling that.
Because, like you said, he'll be old enough to play.
He'll be old enough then, and it all makes sense. The timing,
because
everything.
when Pierce Brosnan was too young to play James Bond, he was Remington Steele, and then he transitioned into James Bond.
Yeah, that's right.
That's actually Pierce Brosnan is actually a good example when you look at Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the same struggle, Savage. My father was from Europe, so football is very different to me than Americans. Yeah, well, not only that, I hate English football as well. British football, you know, I don't follow that. So it's
wow.
No
you do a disservice to me.
Yeah, I'm doing a disservice to Britain there, but I really don't care for football, American or English. I don't, really, worldwide, whatever. I really don't care for it. Yeah. Yeah, people are going to be shouting, "He's not a true Brit," and all this bullshit. Yeah, never mind. Each to their own. I'm glad people are enjoying it and having fun with it, but not for me. I've been re-watching Lost in Space again. I absolutely love that, the remake.
Nice.
It's a fantastic TV show. Mm-hmm.
The one on Netflix?
Yeah.
I still need to check that one out. I've been meaning to.
Oh my god, you've got to. It basically broke the barrier between TV series being better than movies, because the CGI storyline and acting in it, just generally the whole show, pisses over most movies. It's that good. It really, really is that good, and it just kind of sort of merges the two together. And I think that kind of TV shows like that, they kind of sort of deserve more respect more in line with movies, because the fact is it's better. So, and there's nothing more to say about that, really. And apart from sort of like big names like Zack Snyder and things like that, movies these days have become very generic. And remakes and blah blah blah. But these series is like Lost in Space. I mean, just see from the first episode, the CGI alone and production value and sets and vehicles. They got the actual built vehicles for the show and stuff like that. It's just absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we'll see how that turns out. I can see TV and movies kind of sort of becoming a part of the same universe, if you like, eventually. As cinemas decline over the years, as they have been. We get the big blockbuster movies like the Marvel movies and DC movies and that. But I really do think, I want Top Gun, obviously, but I really do think that other than that, people aren't going to be going to see dramas anymore at the cinema. It just ain't going to happen, unless it's an independent cinema.
I don't know, man. I don't know if that's so much true, because that
honestly,
movie,
I just can't see it happening.
That movie with George Clooney and Julia Roberts, that Paradise movie, is actually doing extremely well, and it's a romantic comedy. You know,
I mean, there will be the odd case, obviously. Because really good storytelling and stuff like that. And then you've got sort of Christopher Nolan style, like it's got that Oppenheimer movie coming out, But I do think eventually it will just be big blockbuster things like Marvel, DC, Top Gun, stuff like that. It's a shame, but we are looking at the early days of the death of cinema, really. Let's be brutally honest about it. Streaming is taking over in a big way. It's tragic, but it's just a way of things,
I mean, look at go ahead.
Yeah, no, go on. Yeah.
I was gonna say, kind of piggybacking off of what you said. I mean, look at Stranger Things. Season 4. I mean, it was movie quality all the way through, and that 2.5 hour finale. I felt like I was watching the CGI. Everything was on par for like a big budget movie.
Well, that's funny you bring that up, because there's actually discussion about the final episodes of Stranger Things getting a theatrical release.
Oh, interesting. Well, I'd be down for that.
Okay.
There you go. Well, they're going to have to do everything they can in their power to change this, because it's not looking good. There is big money in the cinema, but only in these big blockbusters for the most part. And the same thing happened with, I've said this before, arcades back in the 90s when the PlayStation 1 came out. As soon as you could get Street Fighter at home, you just buy it and play it as many times as you wanted without putting in 20 cents or 20p or whatever it was at the time. Arcades died overnight because of the PlayStation 1. And the same thing's happening with streaming and cinemas. Bit by bit, I see them closing down everywhere. It's only the big names like Empire Cinemas and I can't remember the name of the other one now, that are really sort of, staying in the game really. And very sort of quirky things. There's a cinema in London where you kind of have table and chairs, and it's kind of a restaurant, and they bring out food, sort of gimmicky stuff like that, and outdoor cinemas. But unfortunately, this is I hate to be depressing, but this is the beginning of the end for cinemas. I think personally.
Yeah.
I personally don't exactly agree with that, but I mean, because based off even this year's numbers in the box, and yes, you could say it's people excited to be back in cinemas again after COVID, but
I think
2019 was a monster year in the box office, and they're actually pretty close to getting that this year, and probably with Wakanda Forever and Avatar 2, they might just hit those numbers again.
Yeah, Avatar 2 would be really popular, but again, it's a huge blockbuster. I mean, I'm going back to the days when you go and see things like, I don't know, say Pulp Fiction, things like that.
True, but like even if you look at the
Shawshank Redemption,
the horror genre this month of October and last month actually are doing insanely well compared to how most horror genre films do, and Smile is a big, kind of, I guess you could say, unicorn of a film that's doing pretty well. It crossed $100 million domestically, which is kind of weird for most horror films, especially in the U.S. box office. So, I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things they keep saying cinema's going to die, and yet somehow I don't disagree that I think studios are going to have to be better about what they greenlight for theatrical releases, but I think there's going to be always space for, putting out those films that are just well written and are going to get people because of the star-studded cast, like this movie Paradise, that romantic comedy with George Clooney and Julia Roberts. I mean, romantic comedies don't do well, and somehow that film did even better foreign markets, which is weird for a romantic comedy. But here domestically, it was kind of competing with Black Adam for a bit, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, you will get close cases. Now, I'm not saying cinema's going to be gone completely. I'm just saying that it's like eventually there will just be the big ones.
Fair.
And the smaller ones, like AMC.
Well, all it's going to do is it's going to make cinema become a bigger, more special event.
This is what I'm getting at. There won't be, and even Ben Affleck made a statement about it when he released The Way Back. People just aren't going to go and see these movies anymore. They want to go and see the Avengers and blah 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 blah. And it's the beginning of the end for that era. Which is a shame, because if you go back and look at, say, I think it was, what was the year was Jurassic Park?
1993.
Was it 93? Well, that year was like Jurassic Park, Pulp Fiction, Shawshank Redemption. It was just a magic year. And people were going and eat every single movie that was coming out was, just completely, everyone was going to see it, and I think that them days are truly over, unless it's going to be like big bucks like Avatar 2, which I'm sure is going to be
or Marvel versus DC. Just saying.
Oh, please, God.
God's been doing a theory about that, and his
so I've called that. I wouldn't mind that in maybe 10 years, but not yet. Please.
Let me have my Justice League first before we corrupt them with.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. Mikey Geekosity did just put out an article like that, and I just got done reading another article that says James Gunn reveals that he's already spoken to the heads of Marvel and DC about Marvel DC crossover. So you see, again, I just the reason I keep saying this is because
Yeah.
I got a lot of heat when I did my James Gunn
No, fair play,
rant
sir, fair play.
about that. People went at me like I was like a QAnon guy because of the way I was talking about Marvel versus DC.
Dwayne Johnson done that post with Thor and Black Adam. Did you see it?
Yeah,
that
I saw that.
Yeah, reference to Marvel versus DC. So even Dwayne Johnson's, on that train. Yeah, he's in on it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not 100% opposed to it, and kind of like what you said, Savage Bat. I kind of want it like maybe a little bit down the road, after we've gotten some more stories, But I don't know. I mean, if they kind of tied it almost into, into something like with Dr. Manhattan, almost like the comic book series, I can't remember what it was called. It was the Button, I think.
Doomsday Clock.
Yeah, Doomsday Clock. If they tied something maybe like that of somehow how
Jeff Johns
come together, bring Jeff Johns back. No, I'm just joking.
Why'd you say that name?
Yeah.
Why did you say that
name? Oh man. But yeah, I kind of what you were saying, Savage Bat, about the box office. I do kind of agree that I think that the days of the box office being able to support multiple massive hits all at the same time is kind of coming to an end. Because I remember back, we had Shazam, Captain Marvel, Infinity War. I think it was those three all coming out within the same few months. Ant-Man, and they all were able to make a good amount of money. And they all did really, really well. And it's like that cannot happen now. Like if you release 3 movies of that caliber all at once, you would have probably 1 or 2 flops. And so, so I kind of feel like, we're in kind of that section, at least for now, of it being special event, of
special event movies.
Because I mean, once again, I don't know how accurate that is either, because when you think about it, because box office numbers is something I know very well. Jurassic World Dominion came out 2 weeks, I believe, after Top Gun Maverick, and Top Gun Maverick was able to make $1 billion. Jurassic World Dominion was able to make $1 billion. Doctor Strange came out a couple of weeks before Top Gun Maverick, and that was close to $1 billion. So I mean,
but all 3 of those movies are big hitters, though. I'm talking about
Shazam and Captain Marvel and Avengers.
Oh yeah, I don't know about that comparison, but the drama. I'm talking about sort of drama-y type things and stuff like that.
I mean, when has a drama ever made a shitload of money, though? And I mean,
the thing is, Trey, all it's going to take is one more dreaded disease to hit the planet Earth, and theaters are going to be in dire straits again. So you got to keep that in mind. So when people are talking about movies, movie theaters not being as prevalent as they were before, it's all about, those smaller movies like romantic comedies and things that are not necessarily going to put butts in the seats. You're going to always have those big, those big movies, like the big superhero movies that everybody goes to see, or the James Cameron or Christopher Nolan epics. But you're not gonna. But other than that, it's like, I mean, who's gonna go see those smaller little movies that used to actually drive the cinema back in the day? That's what,
they did. It was those movies, that didn't cost a lot to make, but made a lot of money. That was what
little horror films too.
Little horror films that was really popular.
And in a way,
that ain't just gonna happen.
That is what cinemas are gonna have to do. Well, studios. It's not so much cinema. It's studios are gonna have to do that again, because they were getting a little bit crazy with their movie budgets, and they need to realize that yes, they can make lower budget films that are gonna bring in people, as like you said, as we're seeing with Nope, kind of brought in a little bit. I mean, it wasn't an obnoxious amount, but even things like you said, Smile, Halloween Ends, even though they released it on streaming at the same time, which was a stupid choice on their end, it showed that the studio didn't trust the film to do well, and yet it actually did fairly well.
There's actually this little Halloween movie that got released, and I don't know if you're aware of it. It's called Terrifier 2, the sequel to Terrifier, and it's actually doing very well, but it was just released on. It was also just released on streaming, but it cost almost nothing to make, and it did okay in the theaters. But again, I kind of feel like horror movies are kind of fitting into that niche of being special enough to sometimes get people to go into the theaters, but most of these little movies are not gonna be able to do that anymore. There's just not
like
going to be the
like you
motivation.
said earlier, Trey. The factor of people have been locked up in COVID as well. Haven't getting out and going to the cinema is a kind of new thing. Theme parks have been doing really well because of the same thing.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to stuff like that. That will wear off eventually. And people, there's certainly average kind of sort of customer. They will maybe see 3 films a year.
I mean, we'll have to see about that.
A lot of people will just pick 1 or 2.
Yeah,
and make a choice between the 2.
Well, generally in the domestic box office, we know for a fact that most people in the U.S. see a movie a month. So that's one person seeing a movie a month. But I mean, in weird cases, cinema can also figure out ways to kind of draw people in by choosing different genres once in a while. So like a perfect example, the new Dragon Ball Z animated film that came out that I can't even remember what it's called.
Are you talking about Broly?
No, it was the other one.
The next one.
It was like Dragon Ball Super something.
Oh yeah. Super Broly
did insanely well in the box office. Not only did it make its money back, but it was like #1 in the box office for 2 weekends, and that's a animated film. That's the whole. I mean, it's Dragon Ball, that's a niche market, but it did extremely well. So therefore, cinema is able to kind of figure out, okay, well, if we pull this film, just like what they did when they had for kind of a silly example, Shin Gojira, when they did release that for a couple of weekends in the box office, they're able to pull some of these films from foreign markets and that are going to drive in so they're going to find ways to bring in audience members, even though it's a low budget and maybe not a well-known IP like superhero flicks.
They've got their work cut out, and if they do it, fair play to them. I don't believe that I think that this time, I'm not saying cinemas are going to disappear, but I really do think that it's going to be things like Top Gun, Avatar, Jurassic Park, Avengers, DC, and that's it really. I think that will be the days of sort of normal.
I think we're going to get to a point too, Savage Bat, just to piggyback.
They'll just all be released straight to streaming.
Just to piggyback.
It's already
off
happening.
That,
it's already happening.
The theatrical experience will be transferred because as we get further and further, along in time, I think virtual reality and augmented reality will bring the theatrical experience home because you'll be able to simulate that theatrical experience virtually without even having to go to a movie theater. You can already do that now. So I think at some point that is going to become a much bigger.
The price of a big TV now is really, really cheap.
Yeah, well, I mean, which is why cinemas have really upgraded their theater since then. Nowadays, you got this new, oh gosh, I can't even remember what they call it, but in California,
Atmos.
What's that?
Dolby Atmos. They're the sound.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, the sound quality is now insane. They're doing these things that they're calling 4D, so you can actually feel, smell. A scene.
that crazy.
Yeah.
Yep.
How you doing?
Oh yeah, and then they have that 180-degree film screen where you will see something on your left side go all the way around to your center, to your right. Their cinema is going to constantly improve because every year they do a whole Cineworld. I'm totally spacing what they're calling what they call their CinemaCon. That's exactly it, CinemaCon, where they IMAX and Dolby, they come out every year and they do these whole this is it's kind of like Apple, when they have their conference. Here's the new iPhone 14. They do these. Here's the new iMacs. and they're going to find ways to keep it, they're going to make it a spectacle every time you go to the theater.
They're going to have to, because for the price of the tickets and that
it's getting obnoxious now.
It's ridiculous. Because when originally the reason they put the prices up is because of what I'm saying, cinemas were dying off, so they had to add a little bit on for the cinema companies and for the movie companies. And then when things went back to normal and it leveled out, they never reduced them back. Right, and like we're saying about the actual movie experience itself, people are finding it. You can sit at home, get the same experience.
Yeah,
in a way, if you have access to the right technology, and it's all getting cheap. I actually saw on a local site that's for sort of local villages and stuff, someone actually put a 65-inch telly on their doorstep saying free to a good home.
Yeah. I mean, it's getting kind of interesting because one thing that happened that was like super dumb for, a cinema company to do, AMC theaters, but right before the Batman came out, they had told their stockholders basically that they were going to raise the tickets prices for the Batman because they knew Batman, popular IP, people were going to rush to go see it. And what that actually did was people didn't rush to go see it because you know what? That's super expensive. And guess what? Warner Brothers just announced that it's going to be on HBO Max in a couple of months. I can wait, So therefore streaming not only hurts the theater release in a way, and it's going to force, I think what you're going to see, and just like what David Zasloff is doing, is he's going to focus on theatrical releases because truly, in all honesty, that's where they make their money. That's how they can really tell if an IP is doing well, and if it's worth making a sequel. Yes, they get viewership, but the amount of time it takes to make that money back from that viewership for the budget that they put to these streaming services, it takes much longer than it does for a theatrical release. So studios are always going to push for that theatrical release over streaming.
Yeah. I mean, the other day when I went with my brother to see, I just worked it out in dollars, just for the tickets alone, was $24 for 2 tickets.
Yeah. It's obnoxious here. Corey knows every time I take him to a Dolby theater, it's $18 a ticket.
Well, there you go. It's getting out. That was just a normal cinema, not an IMAX or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So they need to get their shit together and do something. But I personally believe that it's kind of the beginning of the end. I think for just for these drama type movies, and I had to use that example, but not just dramas, but that sort of indie movies, things like that. I just can't see it anymore.
And I think that studios need to also rein in their budgets a little bit now too.
Yeah.
Because like for example, like Black Adam is doing well at theaters. It's doing good. And it's and I feel like, oh man, they probably, if they could have reined in the budget a little bit, maybe did 150 million instead of 200 or something like that. But I also realize, they're jump starting the universe again and all that kind of stuff. But but I feel like, with films, big budget films, maybe it's time to start being hey, maybe not 200 million, anymore for films. Maybe do 150, 125.
And not only that, part of what has really driven up the box office these last couple of years is because of COVID, the amount of restrictions and protocols that they put in. Generally, I've heard the average has been about $10 to $30 million for COVID protocols that they're doing on set. So that, I mean, when you think about that, that's obnoxious because that's what really hurt the Batman as well. I think I heard something to the effect, someone was saying they put in $40 million to COVID protocol. And when you think about that, I mean, that's more than what they paid Robert Pattinson,
and it didn't help that the Batman was rubbish as well. So.
Yeah, true. But, the Batman is just going to bring numbers because it's the freaking Batman, right? And all things considering, 769 million is nothing to snuff at. But at the same time, when you have a budget from the amount of marketing they did on that film and the COVID, protocols that they were putting in place, you were not going to make that money back, you know? And if you did, it was not going to be worth your time. And hopefully with things changing and, you know, some regulations being lifted, that COVID budget is going to drop significantly to not really affect, because it was the same thing for Black Adam. I think Black Adam was, I want to say $18 million.
They just need to get rid of it.
Sure, yeah.
But you see, here's the thing. Here's the thing, guys, right? The Batman film is the most boring film ever, but they stole the script, right? And now what are they going to do? It's like they have to come up with their own ideas and literally...
We'll see. I know, what's his name? Chris Walzak just put in his lawsuit. Wozniak.
Yeah.
Which I'm very surprised by that, because he kept saying in multiple interviews that he had no intentions to do that. And what do you know? Here he is doing it.
Yeah, he's obviously got a case.
Well, I mean, he must think he does, at this point. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Me personally, after doing some research, I think it's going to be a really tough one to argue, and I think Warner Brothers has the money to drown him out. You know, to whether he's right or wrong. You know, he's
too small to fight.
He's too small to fight that machine.
Corporations, but on the other hand, they might just pay him off, you know, and be done with it.
Because it might still be not worth their time. It might be less.
What's like 3 million? That's nothing to them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, they could even toss him, you know, for like the Batman 2, they could even toss him like a story credit by or an also by or something like that, you know?
Yeah, that would be nice thing to do. Studios are not really known for being nice, but that would be great.
True. And honestly, I mean, it'll be interesting to see, because as we all know, Warner Brothers is Discovery's. Well, they came into a mess. It's pretty much big in debt, which is why they were cutting a whole bunch of things to find money, you know, to help fund their future plans. And I don't know, this is just like one more headache that we'll see how Zaslav wants to take care of, even though it wasn't anything he had to deal with or do with, you know, but we'll see how he handles it.
Yeah, that's right, Charles Austin. Zach can do a lot of 100 million. It's not just the amount of money spent on the movie, it's also the talent behind it. 100%. You know,
because I think Army of the Dead was 90 million, 75 to 90 million is what I heard for a budget.
Savage Bat, have you heard that Olivia Wilde is in talks to direct a DC movie? Never even heard of that. No,
really? That's interesting.
She's
been surprised with all the controversy.
She's been sort of having pops at people. I don't know. I don't think she's very popular at the moment. So I don't.
Well, you know, her ex-husband Jason Sudeikis actually sent her while she was at CinemaCon this year doing a panel, you know, on stage. Had her, you know, had his like legal people, you know, give her divorce papers on stage. In front of her.
That's hilarious.
You've been served.
Yeah, served her papers in front of like 500 people.
Oh my god, that is hilarious. I mean, I like her. She's a very pretty lady, but yeah, you know what the media's like, and the public's reaction to it. We never know what's really going on. You know, it's the private lives of these people. It all gets blown out of proportion. But we're just gone over the 2-hour mark. So what I do is go round Saladia that way round and say what you got coming up. And etc. etc. So yeah, Taladia, what you got coming, man?
Well, I've got I'm going to be doing a stream next weekend on my channel with a couple of friends, and we're going to be talking about the DC EU stuff, all the latest news and all of that. And then I'll also I think it's either next week or the week after, I'm gonna be doing a stream on Zod Rider's channel where he's gonna organize something up with me, where I'm gonna do a Q&A with him, because he wanted to try and get that sorted.
Well deserved as well. Yeah, that'd be a great show. I'll be tuning in for that one. How about you, Bat Dan?
Well, I just got part 2 of my Henry Cavill Superman Returns video uploaded on Friday, where I talk about his Instagram post and Zack Snyder's video. I plan on getting another video out sometime this week. I'm hoping that I can do one after November 1st based on if James Gunn makes an announcement, maybe like a Superman movie or Air Cut movie. If not, I'll probably do a review of Tales of the Jedi, because I really like that series.
Yeah, we just done that on the Bat channel. Yeah,
Delta
Tales of the
Squad.
Jedi, Delta Squad, absolutely amazing. So yeah, check out the Bat channel as well. Bat Down and the Bat channel and the Savage Bat. It's all bats. It's a batty situation.
The triple bats.
Yeah, triple bat. Triple bat.
Pointing at you is like, I'm Batman.
Yeah.
You're Batman. No.
Yeah, yeah, it's one of them. Yeah, and how about you, Zodwriter?
Well, you can catch me later this week. I'll be doing a late night Q&A. I'll have Neo Sevens on as my guest for that particular episode. I'm looking forward to that, and of course,
Marcus is the man.
You'll have me here on the weekend with you, Savage.
Yeah, Bat and Kryptonian Saturday with me and Zod, and then this show on Sundays. Yeah. How about you, Super Bro Corey?
Oh, you know,
What you got? What you got coming on up on your channel?
I think maybe another Captain Maverick watch party or something like that. Maybe we can work that out. Something along those lines. Delta Squad streams. I'll let Trey fill you in with what's coming up next.
He'll be taking over the Bat channel soon.
Yeah,
he did the other day. That was
the best episode. And Trey got banned from his own show, even.
I did. I got banned from my own show from
That was
Fat Dan.
so
I'm gonna tag you back for that, bro. I'm just kidding.
Corey told me to do it. I had no choice.
Oh, don't let Corey.
What you got?
Listen to that guy.
What you got coming up, Byron?
Yeah, I actually got 2 podcast episodes that are getting ready to drop on my my podcast show, which is Under the Lens with Byron Lafayette. And funny enough, they're 2 completely like polar opposites of each other. Kind of, it's like I have dropping tomorrow an episode where I'm talking with a Native American journalist and who's kind of going over kind of the recent scandal with the activist from the 70s, Sacheen Littlefeather, and about how it's kind of come out now that she wasn't Native American, even though she claimed it. And so I have an episode coming out tomorrow that's going to be all about that. It's very, very interesting.
Cool.
And then I'm getting ready to schedule for probably in the next week or two an episode reviewing possibly the worst movie ever made. It's called The Time Machine I Bought at a Yard Sale, and it is an abysmal film, absolutely abysmal. And so I have a couple of guests coming on, and we're going to review and talk about that.
The remake Time Machine.
Oh no, this one's actually like this is its own thing. It was like it was made. Yeah, it's free on YouTube. It's The Time Machine I Bought at a Yard Sale, it's called. And it is absolutely terrible film, but so bad it's fun to watch. So going to be doing a review on that, and that's going to be a lot of fun. So.
I highly recommend you go check out Byron's stuff. Over the years, because we've been friends for a long time, the people that you've interviewed, just amazing. Guests that you've had on there and stuff. I remember a while back, was it Tyrese Gibson, the one from Transformers?
Tyrese Gibson.
Yeah, people like that. I was thinking, wow, man, it's pretty goddamn cool.
And I might have some other special guests coming on soon, possibly next week, that I'll be able to announce. So still working out some of the deals for that. So may or may not happen.
Send me your link sometime, Byron. I gotta check. I have not seen your channel, and I apologize, sir. Like I need to.
Yeah, Byron's one of the best critics I know, and a good friend, because we kind of sort of agree on a lot of stuff, and do you know what I mean? And he kind of he likes to upset the same people I like to upset, really, with his opinions.
Fair enough.
It's just movies, just opinions. Isn't it? And how about you, Trey?
Well, Superbro Corey's taking over the channel, so I'm retiring. It's been fun. No, man, just keeping up. Obviously reviewing a lot of things. We did Tales of the Jedi on the Delta Squad chain with Savage. We've been doing a lot with Taladia lately, and so we'll keep reviewing DC stuff and Star Wars with Andor every weekend. And yeah, man, eventually El Necron and I are going to be doing a MonsterVerse stream once Godzilla really starts to kick off. And so, yeah, I'm excited. A lot coming up on the Bat channel, a lot of different things, and I'm excited to just keep expanding, man.
Excellent stuff. Glad to hear it. Yeah, the YouTube community is such a great thing, and I'm so happy to be a part of it. And you know, because of had problems with social media over the years, and for the most part, the YouTube community has been very nice to me. Welcome with open arms, and I really enjoy it. I really enjoy being a part of it all. You know, and it's just an amazing thing. Yeah. But yeah, it's getting late here, so we're going to start falling asleep soon. But yeah, it's been a great stream, and I think we talked about pretty much everything but the Snyderverse today.
Little Mermaid.
Welcome to the not Snyderverse channel. No, we love it. It's all about, you know, pop culture, you know, and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
but it's great.
Just make sure you guys do subscribe to Savage Bat and share the stream. If you're watching this
and if you're watching on replay, make sure to hit that like button. It's important stuff. It's not for ego. It just helps with the algorithm, and you know, it's just one of them things that'd be greatly appreciated. Right, so we'll bring it to a close there, and I look forward to seeing some of you next weekend. And you know, Restore the Snyderverse is coming. You know, as I keep saying, the fight is over. You know, keep supporting it, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, come on, the writing's on the wall. You know, there's no more mucking about anymore. There's no reason to argue over all this shit anymore because it's over. You know, we're nearly there. We're nearly at the finish line. Don't ruin it now. So anyway, right, I'll see you all soon. I'm the motherfucking Batman. Batman out.